It came at the end of like using all your energy to do something with your physical form. But what this means, peace, is not necessarily like you will feel that after doing exercise like that or doing activities like that. And that's the purpose of going to Sedona. But the purpose of going to Sedona and doing those things is to get you to that level so that you have an awareness about that state of consciousness. Because
Mm-hmm.
that state of consciousness doesn't have anything to do necessarily with hiking. You experience that, but now how do you get that state of consciousness in your daily life? Right? That's true power. That's true power of power over your mind. So you can get there without only doing physical activity, but doing the energetic activity and knowing how to access that place. That's the point of doing meditation. That's the point of doing that kind of internal work. So I'm really happy that you got to feel that. You remember it as the hiking experience. That you didn't associate that with like meditation and like getting there with a spiritual quest kind of thing, right? He's a very physically active person, so he knows that like when you use a lot of physical power and you release endorphins, it gets you to that state. That's one natural way to get there, but that's not the only way, and it's not what people should rely on
So
to
I was relying on that, and that became a deadly thing. And I've actually said this to Harry before, that I was actually like pushing myself so hard up mountains, and this became like this addiction because I was kind of like running from a feeling.
Mhm.
And I just would like go, go, go. And any free moment I had, I'm like, I want to go kayaking, biking, hiking. Like, and I couldn't sit in my own skin. That's what was really going on, is I couldn't sit in my own skin comfortably, and I couldn't enjoy any lax time with like my partner or any downtime for myself, because I was just always trying to go, go, go and feel that sense of relief. And, you know, I ran myself ragged. I lost so much weight. I was just hiking nonstop. I mean, I would do like really hard hike, and I would feel that sense of joy and reward for like 10 minutes at the summit. And then by the time I got back down to my truck, I'd be miserable again. And I'm like, no, like this. And then the more I would do it, that misery would come back quicker and quicker, to the point where like I started to summit really badass mountains and I was miserable at the top. And I'm like, yo, this dude's following me up here. You know what I mean? Like, this problem is following me no matter where I go. And that's when I started to realize, like, okay, there's no ducking this dude anymore. You know, this shadow is coming with me no matter what I do, no matter how hard I work. And that's when I realized, like, okay, there's some mindfulness that needs to be done here. There's another layer of depth that I need to go into. It's not just this physical, like, let me bust it up this mountain, and when I'm at the top, I'll feel better. Like, you know, that worked for a little bit, but little by little, that started to wear off.
Yes.
And then eventually it became ineffective altogether. And I was like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
I'm at the tallest mountain in New York State. It's beautiful. I can see 3 other states, and I'm pissed.
Mm.
Why? Why am I mad?
Where our mind goes, energy follows. Where our mind goes, energy follows, which means wherever our mind is in that moment, even though our physical body is moving, our mind is still in that level of
Yeah.
living with that level of consciousness. That's why you see people at the gym, they have their headphones on, they're watching TV, and then whatever the TV or whatever their music is, kind of they're probably in that level because they're listening to something which has energy vibration, they're watching something which has energy vibration, then they're just moving. That's it. But they're in that field, right? But what if you did exercise? That's why, you know, why people do Tai Chi, why people do martial arts, why people do meditative movement. Because when you do movement with a certain level of awareness and consciousness, and your mind is in, okay, my intention is to unconditionally love myself no matter what. And then you do movement with that consciousness, that will bring out that energy. And somehow, some way, without your conscious intention, without your planning it, without your pushing it, without your forcing it, that energy somehow just comes to you
Yeah.
because you put your mind in that space.
You attract it essentially.
It's not attracting it. No, you created that. You tapped into that from inside of you because you have it. You are these, all these levels you are, and these all relate to different chakras. So it means that once you focus your mind in some place and you really go inside of yourself, and then you move and go through all the that you have, and then you reach some level depth inside of yourself, because all these lower levels are covering these higher levels. It's kind of like from it, this is showing it on like a scale, like a stairs, but actually the way that the soul works is like an onion. The way that the soul works is like you have an auric field, right? That's a round. It's a three-dimensional or whatever, 10-dimensional, thing around you. So as your mind has no limitation. Your mind can go all the way to the sun. It can go all the way to the center of the universe, right? Your mind, right? Your mind has no time and space limitation, right? You can go into dreaming world, or you can go into like alternate universe, alternate dimension with your mind. Your conscious state. Right now, if I ask you, close your eyes, let's go sit on Mars. No limitation at all. Your imagination is also it's part of your mind. It's not fully your mind, but your imagination has an enormous impact on your mind. And that's like why the placebo effect, right? 60%. Did you hear that before? Like our mind is 60% placebo effect, which means that if you're given a drug which is real, or you're given a drug which is sugar water or sugar pill, you're 60% likely to have the same reaction to the real drug with a sugar pill, because your mind is more than halfway powerful. So without any medication, without any real medication, your mind already does 60% of the work. So the rest, 40%, that's from the drug. Isn't that amazing? So that's how powerful our mind is, and that's how powerful our imagination is. So your mind has this unlimited scope and power, but your physical form has this heaviness, this all pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, and shame. And because of our physical form, we're rooted into this moment with these set of emotional, energetic, mental patterns. So, in order to allow our mind to be free, we have to release the attachment to our physical form and to this energetic heaviness that we're holding. And that's the whole point of doing all the energy training, all the tapping, all the stretching, all the Tai Chi, all the sleeping tiger, all the meditation, all the feeling energy, and all the like brain scream kind of imaging. That's the whole point of that, is so that we can just let go of the feeling and the attachment to these lower energy consciousness. So without the energy training, there's no way that you can get into these higher level of consciousness. You have to change your energy. Change your energy, change your mind, change your focus. And then when you change your energy, which is like the gas, energy is gas, then your gas starts pumping. You put on the go forward, the go button, or the acceleration, and then you start to create energetic momentum. Then you can go to these higher levels of consciousness. And then because of those higher levels of consciousness, you take good action, beneficial action, and then that creates more good positive energy. Then it creates this momentum. So that's how we kind of go through our life. That's why we go up and we go down, up and down, up and down. But the more that you get into the higher level of vibration, then the more you can stay there. And then when you go down, you can kind of more easily come back up. So for me, my emotional state was like it would go up for weeks and then go down for weeks, up for weeks and down for weeks, and then up for a couple days and down for a couple days, up for a couple days. And then now I can go, if I go really up, then I'll be down. Like it's kind of usually flipping, flopping all the time anyway. But if it goes up, it will go down, up, down. And then I know that I'm going in the right direction. So even if it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, I'm going this way because I know where my goal is. Ta-da! My super self-critical mind and my extreme lack of trust in people, like I found the root causes. That's what I'm saying. I found the roots of those emotional fluctuations. So what I found is like there's a time when I kind of like I took an action which was to please somebody. It wasn't for me. I was doing it for that person. And then like all of a sudden, like my energy just clicks into this like super perfectionistic, people pleasing, self-deprecating, like so like manic, like everybody goes through all these emotions. It's just that some people are more prone to like extreme versions or like long periods of them. So now I can watch that kind of phase, like how it's going towards that really bad place. Now I can watch, oh my God, that's the decision that I made to like totally lose myself. Like I just chose to like forget about myself. I just threw myself in the garbage and basically, and then these negative energies took over me and I became possessed, consciously even possessed with this bad behavior. And then I did, the only way for me sometimes to get out of it is like maybe traveling, was one of those ways that I have to move location so that I can keep watching the pattern. The pattern keeps happening with different people. Okay, now I'm like, got it. I got it. Now I'm like aware. Um, but then consciously I would realize, okay, this is the pattern. So I'm going to do this other action to kind of like counteract. And then I could then come back into myself. So now I start taking action more sincerely towards myself to really love myself. And then I started getting the feedback from other people that yes, you should take care of yourself. Yes, you should love yourself. Yes, you should choose yourself, because even meeting you guys, other people I met, like now I'm creating this environment where my feedback is now this positive affirmation, trust, optimism, forgiveness, understanding. Now I'm in this place where I attract people like that, right? But it's not attracting, it's creating that within me. And then I'm finding the right, niche. I'm looking for energy, and the soul has energy. The soul is giving off that vibration. So I'm searching for souls so I can vibe with.